Hello. In this video, I want to talk to you about shoes and foot health. And this is important because we only have one pair of feet. And if we don't take care of them, it doesn't matter how much money we have and what kinds of expensive things we wear or own, we're not going to be happy campers if we're stuck in a wheelchair or if our bones have gotten deformed and we're constantly in pain. So this advice is important. Take it to heart and put it into practice. All right, there are two things that I want to talk to you about in this video. One is the proper fit of your shoes, and the second thing is the importance of walking barefoot. And I went ahead and said it's important to walk barefoot 1 day a week. You can choose to do it twice a week, 3 times a week, but do it at least once a week. And I'll get to how you should do it and when I get to talk about this later on in the video. But right now, let's jump into topic 1, the proper fit of your shoes. Here, of course, we're talking about the length, and we're talking also about the width of your shoes, which is important, and a lot of people overlook it. And here, we're also going to talk about the proper arch support. So let's begin. Length is a fairly common measurement. It differs, of course, across continents. So in the US, and Europe, but the numbering system for these sizes varies. So you have to pay attention to that. You can't always assume that, say you're a size 44, you can't always assume that you're always going to be a size 44 if you go from one country to another in Europe, and even if you go from one store to another and one brand of shoes to another. You can't assume, so you always have to make sure that the fit is proper. Now, when it comes to the width of your shoes, this is important because I happen to think that it's actually a more important measurement than the length of your foot. You see, we do a lot of twisting motions with our feet. And if we don't get the proper support as we twist our feet back and forth, left, right, we could run into injuries. So if your foot is swimming around in the shoe because the shoe is too wide for it, or perhaps even too long for it, then you could twist your ankle. You could even break it. And I'm not kidding. This happens a lot with the stiffer shoes, like with the boots, like the mountain boots, for example, or the ski boots. When I was a child, I actually almost tore both my ankle ligaments, because I was wearing ski boots that were too big for my feet, and they weren't offering me the proper support width-wise. So it's really important. Now, if the shoes are too tight, then you're going to run into other issues such as causing your bones to deform in your toes and your various ankle joints there, and because it's compressing them together, and so the bones are going to start taking all sorts of weird shapes, and it's not going to be healthy. It's going to become actually pretty painful for you later on in life. If you don't believe me, just ask your grandparents. Yeah, and that's all I'm going to say about that, because I don't want to get into how feet can look when you're old if you don't take care of them. You'll find out, sure enough, if you don't. Right, let's move on. Arch support. Before I do, there's one more thing I need to mention here, which is that for both men and women, the width of your foot is actually going to vary across your lifetime. Your foot is going to get wider as you get older, and it may get a little longer as well. It's just the way it works with age, and it also works the same way if we're bodybuilders or if we go to the gym and we lift weights. We'll find, both as men and women, that our feet are going to get a little wider, and we're going to need to make sure that our shoes are going to fit us properly, because we don't want to contort the bones in our feet by wearing shoes that are going to be too narrow for us, right? And another situation that's important where the feet get wider is after pregnancy. I'm not talking about men here, obviously. I'm talking about your wives, your significant others, your spouses. After women give birth, because of all the weight that they've been carrying around, their feet have gotten a little wider. And so if your wife or your spouse tells you that she needs to go get new pairs of shoes after she's given birth, be a gentleman, pull out your wallet, and go help her pick out new pairs of shoes because there's a legitimate reason for this. Okay? All right. So let's move on to arch support. Arch support is important because, well, not all of us are built the same way. Some of us are flat-footed, me included, more or less flat-footed. And I've never really liked wearing inserts in my shoes. You know, those orthopedic inserts that you have in your shoes, and they move around, they slide around. You don't get the proper heel support then because your heel is elevated a bit, and I've never liked them. So the solution, the proper solution, is to get shoes made to your foot. You know, bespoke shoes. I know this sounds exotic and expensive, but it really isn't all that expensive, and believe me, it is so worth it. So you can go to stores, or you can go to shoemakers who offer the service, and what they'll do is they'll take a measurement of your foot where they'll place your foot in a box with a pressure foam, which will conform to your exact the word escapes me at the moment. It will conform perfectly to your foot, is what I'm trying to tell you. So what you do is you step into this box with your whole body weight, and then this foam measures exactly where you put the most pressure, and then the shoemaker will know then how to build your shoe. It'll obviously also know what the length and the width of your foot also is. And nowadays, I believe they even have some kind of computerized equipment to do this, where they measure the pressure points and then they map them out and do all sorts of things. So look for this if you are flat-footed, because most shoes out there, let's face it, are built with arch support for those people who have arches, which some of us don't. Actually, most shoes, I think most shoes are built with middling arch support. So those of us with higher arches, and there are those of us with high arches, then those people are also not going to get the proper support for their feet in the commercially sold shoes. Right, so enough about this. Let's talk now about the second topic, which is walking barefoot 1 day a week. This is important for 2 reasons. Well, 2 scientifically proven reasons, but I'm going to say 3 reasons. So the third reason is more aesthetic than anything else. It is elegant to walk around in wonderful shoes, right? We all love to do it. We love the feel of the shoes, we love the way they look and the way they make us feel, but it's also elegant, I think, to walk around barefoot. And actually be able to walk around barefoot because your feet are healthy, and you don't have weird looking nails and all kinds of deformed bones and who knows what. And the only way to make sure that your feet are healthy is to walk around barefoot. So you see, it's like a self-feeding loop. It's a self-enforcing loop with a positive reinforcement there. And when you walk around barefoot on various surfaces, say you're walking around on hardwood, or on marble, or you're walking around on cobblestone, or on gravel, or on the grass, or on the ground, or on the sand at the beach, you get to feel all of these surfaces and all of these textures. And believe me, it's an interesting experience to be able to walk around barefoot and feel those surfaces. It's a way to treat your feet and your brain to a new sensory experience. Right, so now let's get on to the scientifically proven reasons for doing it. First one I'm going to talk about is the practice of reflexology, which involves stimulating certain pressure points on the sole of your foot. So imagine for a moment this is the sole of your foot. There are certain pressure points that when the reflexologist applies pressure there, it actually affects your entire body, or certain parts of your body, let's put it that way, certain systems, and it helps them function better. And this is proven to work. I mean, if you don't believe me, go to a reflexologist and get a foot massage, or just ask your wife how she feels after you give her a foot rub, and she'll tell you she feels great. And it's for the same reason. This practice of reflexology is actually really old, and it's been proven to work across nations of people, not just say a subculture like with some things. And what happens when you walk barefoot on texture surfaces like the ones I talked about before is that you're actually activating these pressure points on your feet. And so, for example, I love to walk around on the cobblestone in our yard or the gravel with which we've lined the pathways in our garden. And it's a wonderful treat, and it's activating these special pressure points on the soles of my feet. And believe me, I can feel my body working a little better. I can feel shivers going up and down my spine because I'm activating those points as I'm walking around in there. It's also a little painful. Don't get me wrong. I mean, when you work on those pressure points, you do feel a little pain, but overall you feel much better, healthier, more alert, and in some ways more relaxed. If you can believe that you can feel the two together, you can. So I highly encourage you to try it for that reason. And now for the other reason, also very important, is there's this thing called earthing that happens when you walk barefoot on the ground or on the grass. It's the same concept as a grounding wire in your electrical outlet, right? It's there as a safety measure so that any current that leaks from the circuit or from your appliances gets rerouted into the ground where it doesn't affect you. And it's the same thing with your body. Your body is an electrical system, and you can actually measure the electricity in your body. And the biggest component of your body's electrical system is your heart. Not your brain, not your mind, but it's your heart. And this has been scientifically studied and proven that when you walk barefoot on the ground or on the grass and you earth your body, you ground it, there's a much lower risk of cardiovascular disease and heart attacks. Because once again, it's affecting the largest electrical system in your body, the heart. It's helping it release negative energies. It's helping your body release all sorts of tensions that have accumulated in it throughout the day. And these tensions, it's nerve impulses that keep triggering, keep firing, and this helps them dissipate. So it's a wonderful way to treat your body to a self-healing session. So that's what I wanted to talk to you about today, right? Two things: the proper fit of your shoes, very important. And the second thing is walking barefoot once a week. Please do it. Walk around barefoot. Do it, and then if you like it, post a comment below and tell me so. Okay?